Hey guys, I'm at the dealership right now. I'm waiting for my car because my friend's actually putting a new part on my car and also do my oil change for me. So thankful for that. But today I thought I would do a little frequently asked questions about being an MRI technologist. Like, I've been meaning to do this video for so long, but I haven't caught any time to do it. So I thought today would be a good day to do it since I have to sit here for a while and I have nothing really to do because I'm still editing the vlog from like my birthday weeks with my friends kind of thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this video if you guys are interested. I'm just gonna do this very casually, very quick, so I'm not gonna touch on probably every single thing, but if you guys have any additional questions, please leave them down below. But I'm gonna do like the ones that I saw the most. But yeah, so the first thing was probably the most asked was, do you work alone? Yes, you typically do work alone, but to be honest, like being an MRI technologist, it is a one-person job. You might work in a place where they have multiple MRI scanners going on at the same time, or like a schedule where it's like, you know, somebody opens, closes, but there's multiple scanners, things like that. It just really depends. But majority of the time you do work alone. I would say clinical is really the most important thing that you should focus on while you're in school. Like, don't worry so much like after school, like worry about what you're going through in school and focus on learning throughout clinicals. Ask questions, figure out, you know, how to scan. I would say make sure you get your comps, get a lot of reps in. It's the reps in scanning and understanding what you're scanning and the anatomy that you're scanning and how much you're covering. And every place is different as well, because there's some doctors that likes things this way, that way, or there's like hospitals that do things this way, that way. And when you understand like, you know, what you need to do for that doctor, for the patient, everything like that, it just comes naturally. And honestly, like, I think it is scary at first to be alone. Like, I was very scared at first to be alone, but you know, you get comfortable and you will start to feel, you know, confident in your scanning once you feel like you know what you're doing. And I think clinical is definitely a big part of that, because I hear stories from people that went through clinical at like top hospitals and never got to scan, never got any scan time, barely got any scan time, and they come out into the workforce and they don't understand anything, they don't know what they're doing, and it's like I had to hold their hand and train them from the start to finish. I've had people that had lots of experience and stuff like that, or they were travel techs before, and I'm like training them, they know what they're doing. It just comes with time, comes with experience, and how you approach your clinicals is definitely number one. Like, if you don't take charge of your clinicals and make sure that you're getting your scan time in and making sure that you're getting the proper help and, you know, the training right, like that will determine like who you are as a technologist and how you perform like when you're by yourself. So, and don't feel bad like if you don't know everything. You do learn things on the job, or you will have help. Like, I'm sure the workplace that you're at, like they can't just make you do things that you don't know. Because when I got out of school, like I didn't know certain things that I did actually taught myself, to be honest. And you know, when I got promoted and kept getting promoted, like I had to keep teaching myself things because I had to train other people, you know, once the people that were above me were leaving, you know. So it just comes along with time and with training and just practicing and constant scanning. And the one thing that's really great about MRI is that since it doesn't use radiation, if you think you messed up, you can go back and repeat the sequence. It just depends like how much time that you have, but just do your best and learn a lot through clinical. Please like absorb everything. Like, that's my number one thing, is like clinical definitely makes a difference in how you perform as an MRI technologist, because just because you have a license into doing something doesn't mean that you will know everything and stuff. Like, I have nurses friends that still learn things on the job to this day, and they've been working for like a year or two and they're still learning, and everything will just come to you as it comes. And definitely make good contacts with, you know, your clinical instructors. I've had a few throughout my rotations and I still talk to a lot of them till this day, and I appreciate them and the knowledge that they give me. And you know, my boss was also an MR technologist for many years, like 17 years, and if I ever needed something, like even though he didn't know how to use a GE, I was able to ask him questions and stuff. Oh my god. Another question was like with the x-ray tech, CT tech kind of stuff questions. You can do x-ray tech first and then cross train into MRI. If you do decide to do that, make sure that you find a place that you're going to work at that's going to help you learn MRI, because you have to get your comps in, you have to get your scans in and stuff like that to know what you're doing with MRI. And it's not just, oh, you're an X-ray tech and you can just do whatever you want. I mean, yes and no. You still have to get your license, and you still have to get the comps and trainings like for those other modalities as well. So if you're interested in CT, MRI, mammogram, DEXA, everything like that, then yes, do the X-ray pathway, because that's what's going to help you go into all those modalities. We're gonna have to uphold all of those licenses. You have to take all the tests for those licenses and stuff like that. So just be mindful of, like, you know, the time and effort it does take to get into those modalities, because some people end up doing that and then they don't end up wanting to do all the modalities because it's like a lot of tests, a lot of time to train, and then also finding a place that's willing to train you. Like, that's a hard one that I heard, that there was a CT tech that I work with, and she told me that the reason why she never did MRI was because at the hospital that she was working at prior, they had the openings for you to sign up for MRI training, cross training, and she was never selected, so she just never ended up doing it. So that kind of sucks, you know, like if that's what you want to do. But just take a look at like what you want to do and what's gonna work for you, like, and understand like the time and effort it does take to learn each modality and getting a license and being licensed to do that modality, you know. Another big question that I got was like my experience going through school and stuff with MRI, and I feel like I was really grateful for the clinical instructors that I did have. I feel like every single one that I have was so supportive. They literally let me scan everything. I learned everything that way. And I feel like when you get a clinical instructor that's not willing to let you learn or scan, and they're just using you as like a tech aid, and you're not really getting your scans in, you're just sitting there, you definitely don't learn very well during that. And I feel like when I was training this other tech, she went to a very prestigious hospital for her clinicals, but she told me she only like scanned maybe a few times a week. Like, you go 3 days a week, I believe. It's like 3 to 4 depending on like how long like the shifts for the technologists are. And she told me that like out of school she probably scanned like one thing maybe 3 times. Meanwhile, like when I was in school, I scanned that maybe like over 100 times. I feel like that definitely determines like how good you are as a tech after. Like the scan, like I said before, like clinical is definitely gonna make you or break you. And if you feel like you have like an instructor, or you're at a place where you're not getting like the proper support or like the proper training, you should reach out to whoever your clinical director is, the school, wherever you're like getting your training through, and it has to be relocated, because honestly, like you will be responsible post-grad like for your knowledge and for your scanning abilities. Like, it's not really up to anybody else but you. And unfortunately, there is clinical instructors out there that are very impatient, or they don't have time to teach you, or they're stressed out with their own job because you're on a time crunch if patients come late, or like if you're running behind, there's malfunctions, because it just depends. I can't really say like, you know, for other people, but for me, I definitely feel very grateful for the teachers that I did have and the people that I look up to. But yeah, overall, I did have a really good experience based on clinicals alone, I think, and I did put in a lot of effort. And when you are at your clinical sites and they see that you work hard and you're putting in the time, they'll offer you a job. Like, I got offered my first job like before I even finished school, and that was amazing. Like, I felt so happy about that. Someone asked if you have to know all the body parts, like bone names, parts of the brain, and down to specifics right off the bat, and do you use it every day? So yes and no, but that's again gonna come with your clinical. And I noticed like from some of my clinical instructors, like they would say like, oh, angle to the bow tie or angle to the turkey. Like, there's little things that like anatomy kind of looks like, you know, like real life things, that they kind of use that as a, you know, general like way to say like, you know, angle to this and that, you know. But you'll learn that way, but definitely learn like what they're actually called, what the bones are actually called. Another question, someone asked, what was your education path in order to pursue this career? I went through an MRI program, and it's an accelerated program, just like, you know, nursing school has like accelerated nursing programs. There's things like that. So I did that, and because I had prerequisites, I was a pre-nursing student. So because I had all my requisites done, I was able to transfer all of that into school. So it did take up a lot of the tuition that I needed. So that was really, really great. I believe that ART's website has like a list of accredited schools. That's another thing, make sure your school is accredited so that way you can take the boards after. But yeah, you can check online and on the ART website to see like what schools there are in your area. I believe, like I haven't looked myself personally, but I've heard of that. And I'm sure like you can look up in your area like what schools there are as well. for the most part, I think those were the most frequently asked questions. If you guys have any other questions, I can do another one of these just because I don't want to run this video too long as well. And I think my car is ready. My friend just came in and told me that I can't get a car wash today. But anyway, I hope this video helps someone out there. If you guys have more questions, just leave them down below. I will get to you guys as soon as I can with another video. I'm sure that there's other questions that I have in my comment section I didn't touch on here. I might do that in another video, or I need to go through my Instagram like messages too because I got questions on Instagram. But yeah, so hope this video helps you guys, and for all the future radiology technologists out there, good luck with everything, whether it's ultrasound, CT, x-ray, MRI, you know, any of that. Like, good luck with everything, and I hope this video you found it helpful in any way, or if you have any other questions, let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye guys.